After watching the videos and completing the assigned readings, I found that risk assessment tools and techniques are not a very compelling method to determine if someone is dangerous or to even determine if they will go on to commit more crimes. In the ProPublica article, they talked about a prime example of this. Risk assessment tools and techniques were used for two people that committed theft crimes. One was an African American woman, and the other was a white male. Both people committed similar crimes, but they had a very different risk assessment. This is proof that the risk assessment technique rests in pseudoscience rather than science backgrounds. Both people had a similar crime, but their score was different, and a lot of this rests on racial bias. Rather than looking at the crime and the likelihood that the person will actually commit the same crime in the future, they are looking at things like race, ethnicity, or even if their parents have been to jail in the past. These are not credible sources to determine if someone will go on to commit a crime. In the article, the ProPublica article, they even talked about how some judges agree with the risk assessment techniques and some don't. One judge talked about how he looks at the risk assessment technique, but he doesn't look at it as the end-all be-all for determining what someone's sentence should be in jail. I think that's the most important statement that I took away from the article. I think that it could be helpful maybe in looking at things, but I don't think that one number should be the determining factor in whether or not someone is going to jail. And also, the founder of the risk assessment technique talked about how he didn't want it to be a number that determined sentencing. He didn't even want it to be used in the courtroom originally. He really just wanted it as a technique to lower crimes. And as studies have gone on, they have shown that the risk assessment technique is just not successful. Risk scores for violent offenders are only 20% accurate. So that means just by a simple number, we could be letting violent people back onto the streets just by a made-up number. So I think we need to find better techniques of risk assessment, or just stop using risk assessment all the way around and use a different way to determine if someone will go on to commit another crime. Thank you.